welcome back to the Gratu Orlov Show. It's episode 523. It's Memorial Day 2022 here on the Gratu Orlov Inspirational Network, and we're coming to you once again live in color from Mount Gratu, Iowa. And we're here to remember the wonderful veterans that have allowed us to have the freedom to go on YouTube and say "Let's go Brandon" and all those things that we say here every day on our great channel, the Gratu Orlov Inspirational Network. So let's take a moment of silence to remember all the people that have given their lives and their limbs, their minds to allow us to show comic books and talk about bullshit here on YouTube. And let's not allow the Klaus Schwabs and the World Economic Forum and evil Satan worshippers to take away our freedoms that they have fought so valiantly for. You don't need a weatherman to know which way the wind blows. I think there's going to be some changes in the next election. Monument erected to commemorate the veterans of all wars that answered their country's call in time of need, put up by the American Legion. Yeah, I'd say there's the spirits of all of our veterans are kind of speaking to us right now through the wind. They aren't happy with what's happening to the United States, but we're aware of what's going on, so they're not going to win. God always wins, ultimately. First time I've been out to this beautiful cemetery. Expect some stirring John Williams music to swell up. And there's a young Clark Metropolis now that his father's passed away, right? We have to get some nerd talk in there, right? Since this is ostensibly a comic book channel. Well, but you came here to see comic books and monster magazines and things like that, so we probably need to get back to that. No, and but throughout this show, we're going to be remembering, since that's the whole point of Memorial Day, we're remembering. My father was in the Korean and Vietnam War. He was drafted the day after he elected. He was drafted the day after he graduated college to get into the Korean War, and he missed World War II by a few years, a couple of 2-3 years. This is really quite a spectacular sight. I don't like seeing that this grave has been completely covered up here, though. All I can see is the F. There's a flag on the ground. Pick that up. I don't know where it came from, but I'll just plant it here. Since flags are not supposed to touch the ground. But with this wind, it's amazing that it was only one flag that I saw on the ground. Okay. There's a World War I veteran. Oh yeah. John Alba White. Was in the Navy in World War I. Born in 1893, passed away in 1966. June 25th, 1966. So he was able to see 6 months of the Batman TV show, which started in January of '66. So he was allowed to see the first season of Batman. So we're gonna head on down to the snack bar where there's wonderful things to eat. Popcorn, candy, soft drinks. Well, okay. Now, here on the radio, see, this is like a complete Twilight Zone episode in this town. A lot of times cell phones don't work because it's like moving back into the 50s, and it's really a time warp. And there's nothing on the radio of songs after like 19. You might hear songs from the early 90s, but most of the songs on the radio are from the early to mid 80s. Let's see if I'm right. I don't know what that is. Some kind of... There's really not many radio stations, actually. Let's go through the dial. Oh, shit. There's country music and there's real old music from the pop charts, but you really don't hear any rap or hip hop. Oh my gosh, it thinks my tractor's sexy. See, look at this. This place is called Dairy Sweet, I think. It's like a old 50s kind of dairy place, Dairy Queen kind of thing.
The real problem for this summer is trying to be a contrarian traveler in the midst of all of this. And the way that you do that is consider this. There are 196.
Look, it's like a Norman Rockwell painting or something.
And of those 180, at least half of them are still affordable.
Oh, shut up. There's a Dollar General and a Subway, so it's somewhat civilized, right? That's that old-looking gas station. That's El Vaquero. That's a really good Mexican restaurant. How about that? Well, let's turn here. Well, the hardware store is closed, being Memorial Day, but I've got to get a hose and some and I need to get some air conditioner filters. I need to get a hose to blow out all the dirt, dust in the air conditioner unit outside. Yes, it's very quiet here today in the downtown area of Mount Gratu. Here's a wonderful gas station. I don't need any gas right now, but if I did, this is where I'd get gas, where the prices are still good, right? And you still get service with a smile. And here's the good old Princess Theater. They're showing Top Gun Maverick there. Yes, indeed. Here's and coming up here is the bowling alley. I think it's only open on Saturdays, possibly. It's called Lucky Lanes. How about that? How about that one? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, let's get the show on the road. You came here to see unboxings and comic books and slabs and all that kind of stuff. So let's do that. So we're back home. Or as my mother used to say, home again, jiggity jig. Some weird expression. Home again, jiggity jig. Did your parents do that? All right. So, I see Drew the dog is waiting for us at the door. Still has her cone on because she had surgery on Wednesday. Today is Monday, Memorial Day. So let's see what we got going on in here. Hello, Drew the dog. There you are, Drew. You're famous again, once again. Well, I put the shower curtain up for privacy. It's a shower curtain I found. My wife had this printed. It's from some old woman's magazine from the 20s. Anyway, so this gives us a little bit of privacy, because otherwise everyone driving by on the street, in theory, could see us in here. So, okay. Whoop. Excuse me, Drew. Well, when I know the elevator's loaded up with a bunch of books. I need to see if there's any room on the elevator. Okay. Okay. Oh, I could fit something else in here, I think. Yeah. All right. I'm taking some boxes upstairs. Let me get one more box. So how have you guys been? I still haven't been getting enough sleep. Okay. There's a new world coming. Oh yeah, I gotta take all these books upstairs. Alright, yeah, today we might be able to see some pretty cool comic books. I think last time I only showed comic books for about 5 minutes out of a 2-hour episode. I don't know if that was appreciated or not. Anyway, hold on. Alright, so I'm carrying a short box, and you are on top of the short box. So, you're seeing a point of view shot from what a short box sees when it's being lifted into an elevator. You are that short box. Kind of surreal, right? Being a short box. You probably always wanted to be a short box, right? So we're going up to that level there, the 3rd floor. So I pull this cord and we head on up. So I've got to, when I want to stop, I got to pull this cord here, which is kind of hard to show you since I have to use both my hands to do this, but I will attempt so. Alright, so now we're here at the 3rd floor. So, gotta turn the lights on, and then we're gonna move some boxes. Okay, so I guess we'll turn on this little ring light so we can. There we go. God damn it! I need to stop cursing here on the Garage Orloff Inspirational Network, because this is really a religious channel, and it's not really right for me to be cursing so much. Okay. Oh, perhaps I should turn the. And Drew is all excited, wanting to play. Okay. What are you up to, Drew? Just wants to destroy. Let's get the lights on in this room, I suppose. Yeah, so I've got to wait till tomorrow to get the air conditioner worked on. Right now it says it's 69 degrees in the house. Let me move it to 68. See if that works. Okay. Let's find a place to put the phone. I still haven't gotten this action figure out of his package. And he's not happy about it. I think I'm developing ADHD or maybe I've always had it, but I was watching a few minutes of that last episode, and it's like I was like had the attention span of a puppy. You know, it's like, well, I'm gonna show you this. Wait, famous monsters. Wait, there's this, and it was like I was all over the place. Okay, all right, this box. Let's see what we got. Oh, where am I gonna? Yeah, see, that's that way. You gotta put this phone somewhere. Where did I put it last time? In here. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Oh, that's not good. Hold on. I got an idea that just won't work at all, actually. Oh, damn. Shit. Fuck. Ugh. Okay. Well. Be patient. I'm gonna figure something out yet. Okay. Oh, that will work. I'm moving boxes so I can put you on top of a box. Oh shit! And I think this might work. Okay. Okay, cool. Well, my hair's all blown around by the wind. Okay, so I was watching a trial last week with her. I think the jury's coming back now with the Johnny Depp Mara lawsuit. So anyway, that's Aquaman number 62 from the 35-cent era. So that goes over here. What else we have here? Here's the Avengers 102. I might have shown it last time. I don't know. It's possible. Where are my Bronze Age Avengers comics? I think they're in the other room. Here's 103. Got to get these filed. Here's 109. Here's this issue that speculators were going crazy about a few months ago because supposedly there's a character in here that Bill Murray is going to play in the next maybe Ant-Man movie or something. Yeah, my hair looks like insanity. Brush my hair. Oh shit, the dog pooped again. Okay, now I look more presentable. Okay. What I'm doing right now, I'm separating Bronze Age from Silver Age, and then I'm going to move the Silver Age books into that room, and then I'm going to continue to file the Bronze Age books in here. So far, we've just seen Bronze Age stuff, right? Here's Hulk 153. I'm just showing you stuff that you've all got, because it makes you feel good. You say, I've got that one. He's not showing anything special. Here's Hulk 183. Another Aquaman. Several more Aquamans. 61. 63. Okay, so the Aquamans go over here. And then we've got these Hulks and these Avengers. Aquaman. Avengers, Hulks. Okay. And then actually, I need to get into this box that the camera's on top of. So move this. Okay. All right. Well, okay, so Avengers 142, 143, 147, 148, 149. Okay, so I'll slip in these Avengers. 109, 102. No, that's 103. This is 102. Okay. Here's the first appearance of the Warlord. Put that over there. That'll be filed under F for first issue special. This needs to be put with the Charlton Comics. Space Adventures number 11, which has got the hateful UPC code. But this is what is she doing? It's hard for her to get around with that cone. It just knocks stuff all over the place. Okay, and then these Hulks. I think I've shown you all these things. Yeah. That is if you watch every episode. Oh, shit. Let me go in the other room where I actually can put this camera down in a civilized way. There's I'm putting all my ROM Space Knights in the same box. Did you know that Harvey Comics put out Felix the Cat for a while? Now you do. Okay. Well, actually, let's unload the rest of the stuff off that elevator. Okay. So this is the guest bedroom. that we're working on so that guests can come here. And then through here is the comic book room. Which is in a state of disarray, of course, like everything else. Let's go back to the elevator. Okay. This box had a sticker for More American Graffiti on the top, and in the move it was kind of halfway dislodged. So what was that, about 1979, More American Graffiti? So that dates this magazine box as to how old it is. It's probably one of the older ones. Excuse me there, Drew. I see a $50 bill on the floor, but it's actually Monopoly money. So oh well. I don't think they'd take a little piece of blue paper at the local supermarket. All right. Well, let's see what's in this box. Because in here, I can turn on this mini ring light. I thought I could. There I can. Yeah, so that gives me a little more light, and I've got all my computer set up, and all right. So, wow. Well, let's take a look at what we've got here. Oh yeah, this is a box that tormented me for weeks and weeks. I thought it was missing, and it was driving me crazy. I thought I was going to have to replace my entire collection of the Castle of Frankenstein, which is one of the greatest, it's one of the great ones. Famous Monsters of Filmland was fantastic. But Famous Monsters of Filmland was primarily, what has she got? Uh-oh. Drew, come here. Drew, you want a treat? Drew, what do you got? Drew? Drew had taken off with these, with this highly valuable collectible, and was trying to run down the stairs with it. These bunny ears. So I guess if I put them on my head, she won't be able to eat them. Okay, so Famous Monsters of Filmland, phenomenal magazine, obviously. What made it so wonderful is Forrest J. Ackerman's enthusiasm, his will to take these stars that had been forgotten and make them relevant again in the world of today, and make kids, 10-year-olds, love Lon Chaney Sr. and Boris Karloff, to the point where their careers were actually revived, and they came back and put them in new movies that would play at your drive-in and stuff. Well, Lon Chaney Sr. didn't come back, but Boris Karloff did. And Bela Lugosi couldn't come back either at that point. But he had all this collection of stills and photographs. So and then the production design of what James Warren did with the beautiful logo of Famous Monsters, or as I understand now, it's called trade dress. The logo, the lettering that later the punk rock band, the Misfits, utilized. Famous Monsters was a spectacular image on a magazine rack with the Basil Gogos paintings on the cover and everything. But there was a magazine that started, I think, it was all through the 60s. I think it maybe started in 59, and it lasted until about 74, Although they only did about 20 issues, there might be 2 years between an issue or 6 months. It was very sporadic when it would appear, but it was called Castle of Frankenstein, and it was put out by Calvin Beck, who was a very eccentric guy, but it was very well written and very literate. And Forrest J. Ackerman, I'm sure, could have written a literate magazine, but he was writing consciously to 10 and 9-year-olds, and he was writing it to be funny and joking. I guess he thought kids liked that. The kids didn't like that. I think he was trying to pacify the parents, because I don't know. I know my mom did not like me buying monster magazines. She would always say that I couldn't buy them. I don't know if it was till I was 10 or if I was 12. It must have been 10. But I just remember thinking, that's forever from now, 10. But until then, I had to take them up to her every time there was a magazine on the stands that I wanted. I'd take it up to her, can I buy this? And she'd flip through it. And if it passed, if it looked like there was nothing horrifying in it, she'd allow me to buy it. Not very often. But if there was any image that showed a person with one eye and then one empty eye socket, like, the War of the Colossal Beast, or just, the posters, or any eye injury, she did not like and would not approve. And she'd say, put this back to me now, put this back on the rack, don't ever show this to me again, because she had an eye injury when my oldest brother was a baby in the early 50s. I guess he was flailing around and his baby thumbnail or fingernail went across the surface of her eye. So eye injuries were verboten, were out. If the magazine had something like that, forget it. Anyway, but when parents forbid things, man, then you become more obsessed with them. She also didn't want me watching Three Stooges because she thought I'd imitate that. And she didn't like me reading Dennis the Menace because she thought I'd imitate his bad grammar. She was a former school teacher, and so things that were forbidden became huge obsessions. But anyway, Castle of Frankenstein. I thought this whole box was gone, man. It's got this is a Monsters magazine. It was a one-shot that came out when the series was on the air. Mine is not in very good shape. But monster magazines are when I started collecting, magazines were really one of my main focuses. I saw them on this giant newsstand on the Army base in Heidelberg. They had a whole wall of magazines and comic books. They weren't on a spinner rack. They were all laid out like magazines on the magazine. And it just was huge. And it was like a classroom, like a school classroom where it's just nothing but magazines and comics. So that's what the store was like, and paperbacks. And I remember seeing these magazines and how spectacular they were. And so that I know there's a lot of you out there that only collect comic books, and you say, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of collecting magazines, but to me that's really where it's at. That's what I really, really loved. And the Warren magazine. Here's the first issue of Castle of Frankenstein. But see, there was a lot to read in this. See how much writing is just here. On the back cover. These books are great, and they're bringing back Castle of Frankenstein. The people that put out Scary Monsters are bringing it back. They brought it back for a little while in the 90s. I didn't buy a single issue. It didn't look the same. I mean, it had the same logo, and they had the same guy, Larry Ivy, come back and do some covers, but it wasn't. It was just like. It wasn't. I didn't buy any of them. Anyway, they're bringing back Castle of Frankenstein, and they're starting. They started with because they stopped publishing about 74, and they brought it back in the 90s. They started the numbering where they left off, and now they're starting it again with the numbering from there. What? I thought I had a complete run. I think some might be in another box. I'm pretty sure I have a complete run, but here's number 5. I got to look this up on mycomicshop.com. And look at what the covers were. I know I've got all of them. Maybe they're in that other box that it's on the elevator. But see, this is all part of what I'm doing right now. It's just not making a different episode every day. I'm trying to get organized. Here's number 6, and they made this look like one of those movie magazines like that women read, with Elizabeth Taylor on the cover and Sandra Dee and everything. This is the way they the text on the side and everything. Isn't that great? Bela Lugosi on the back. That's number 6. I know I got to rebag these in better bags and all that. 5, 6, 8. This is issue 8. And by then, Batman was on the air. Oh yeah, the next issue they completely cashed in on Batman and put Cesar Romero on the cover. And I imagine this issue sold a lot of copies. I think I have several copies of this issue. 9. Okay, then where's 10? Okay, here's... Oh, I've got other copies somewhere, because this is issue 11, but I've got a much better copy of this. This is not in good shape. Oh, that's the artist I was talking about in one of the last episodes. It's Hannes Bach, I think. I couldn't remember his name when I was showing you some of these little digests, and my friend Forrest and Movie World Comics both said, you're talking about Hannes Bach, and I said, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, this magazine was, and then another Star Trek issue. Now, Famous Monsters never really covered Star Trek, at least not in the 60s. Very, very little coverage. Definitely no cover appearances for Star Trek, which seems odd, because there were a lot of monsters on Star Trek. That's issue 14. Oh, I'm missing a lot of issues here. What is the deal? Here's 15. They didn't actually have Star Trek on the cover until Star Trek the Motion Picture came out in 79. And then by then, Famous Monsters was no longer really the Famous Monsters that we grew up with, because Star Wars had come out. And I don't remember if the first Star Wars cover on Famous Monsters was R2-D2, and like photograph of R2-D2, and I think Mark Hamill putting their paw prints on the Grauman's Chinese sidewalk, or was it there was a painted cover of R2-D2, like he's a monster, or was it the one that was a painted cover? It might have been Go-Ghost that painted a Sandman's face. But basically, once Star Wars came out, every issue was Star Wars. And there were no longer the classic monsters on the covers. And it just started to... it wasn't the same. Here's a fantastic cover. And at this point, the paintings were wraparound paintings. But... pretty cool. So that's 16. Some of these are out of order. Maybe that's the problem. 17. This one I definitely remember seeing on the newsstand and asking my mother if I could buy it, because by that point I was aware of the Seventh Voyage of Sinbad. I'd seen that on television, and this has a lot of the different Ray Harryhausen creatures and stuff all thrown together in this painting. That's issue 19, and by this point we're into the 19 70s. And I remember asking if I could get this one, and I was denied because I bought it years later. Okay, the next issue is similar in that it pretty much has the other famous Ray Harryhausen creatures that weren't on the last issue. And then this is about the time the Golden Voyage of Sinbad came out, so you've got a Golden Voyage cover. This is issue 21. And it has an article on NBC, had a TV movie, Frankenstein, the true story, that was the big talk of the playground in 3rd grade or 4th grade because it was a little bit gory. I remember it being it must have been 3rd grade. I think there was one scene where a bloody severed hand is crawling along the floor, and boy, did that excite people. This cover, I think this was before there was any stills released of what Linda Blair looked like in The Exorcist, so you'd have to see the movie and paint it from memory, and this is not a very good painting. Now, over at Famous Monsters, I believe Basil Gogos painted a really pretty good and creepy picture with her with her tongue out, and that was also done from memory of seeing the movie because they didn't release the stills there initially. That's issue 22. Here's 24. Lots of Hammer coverage. Now, they had a section in this magazine where they reviewed movies. Let me see if I open one of these for me. And little small reviews of the movie, and kind of like what Michael Weldon ultimately did with his Psychotronic Encyclopedia of Film. And then Michael Weldon for a long time had this magazine coming out called Psychotronic Video. I don't have a complete set of that, but this is an annual of Castle of Frankenstein. But see, now I realize that I don't have all the Castle of Frankensteins in this one box. So now I'm on a new quest to find out where they are. This is a good Fantastic Monsters of the Films. This is a good one. Oh, look at that. It's got an autograph, I didn't even realize this, from D.C. Fontana. I didn't get that autograph, but D.C. Fontana of Star Trek fame. Pretty cool. I got tons of these magazines. This is something I dearly love. There's 3D Monsters with this great ad on the back that shows you all the different monster kits that are available. This one's not in very good shape. Thriller. Shit. Yes, indeed. Oh, this is a reproduction of, or what is this exactly? It shows it's a reproduction of a Captain Action catalog. Shows all the different characters you can get. Captain Action was like a G.I. Joe sized figure. He looked a lot like George Bush, but most kids didn't play with him as Captain Action. They got these outfits and snap-on heads you could put over his face to turn him into different heroes, and then his little teenage sidekick could turn into the sidekicks like Robin or Aqualad and that kind of thing. This was the way you could become Batman back in '66 when the TV show was on the air. But I'll tell you, look at this store display. That's pretty cool. But this is the neat thing, is this ad on the back that I should make a color copy of and frame. These are highly desirable and unbelievably expensive now. I don't even know what they go for now. Probably thousands. These were the comic heroines. These were and they didn't sell well, which is why they're super valuable, because girls weren't into them. Shriek. This is a cool magazine. And they've got Shriek Eeks. You could order these rubber monsters, bugs and bats. And then Boris J. Ackerman was also put out Monster World, which later became part of the numbering of famous monsters. And there's the ad for the guillotine when that first came out. It was just basically another famous monsters. And okay. Oh, yeah. And the monsters wound up on the cover of Monster World, but they never made the cover of Famous Monsters. And likewise, the Addams Family. And then Warren was also doing these fumetti. I think the word is fumetti. At least that's the way fumetti, when I was first introduced to the word fumetti, I thought it meant when you had photos and then you put word balloons in. But what this is, it's the whole movie, but there are no drawings. It's all stills from the movie, and then they put in word balloons. And the word balloons and the sound effects, I don't know if you recognize the writing, the handwriting, that's Wally Wood. So Wally Wood basically put this together. He just didn't draw it. But you can see his mind working there. And there was another one of the Horror of Party Beach. Here's Monster. Oh, my battery is low. That's terrible. I need to charge it. So, yeah, this show's going to have an abrupt ending if I don't go charge the battery. So let's go see about doing that. I think I brought the charging cable upstairs. I think so. Damn. Are there any more? Oh, there's some more cool magazines in there. I'll show them to you later. Okay. Where is that cable? Man, I can't. I'll just go downstairs. I know there's a charging cable down there.
It feels like your eardrums are going to burst.
Okay.
You swallow hard. And you realize there is nothing you can do but wait and squirm. Now American International Pictures presents.
All right, let me get this charged, and then I'll show you. While I'm charging, I'll show you some more books. I'll just move them over here. Okay, hold on one moment.
Driven by an uncontrollable urge to feed on human flesh. Squirm. Rated R on 17, not permitted without parents.
This thing has been frozen in ice for 20 million years, so I figured it must be lonely.
From the dawn of man comes Slug. A beast from 20 million years ago stalks the streets of today. A love stranger than King Kong. A monster more powerful than Godzilla. See a small California town learn the true meaning of terror.
There's a few
See
boxes
the
I need to
police
go
and
through.
National Guard powerless before the awesome creature. Can
Go through
nothing
them
stop
together.
it? Can anything stop it? First, Birth of a Nation. Then, Gone with the Wind. 2001, A Space Odyssey. Love Story. The Godfather. And now, Sherlock. Sherlock. Widescreen color, rated PG. From the dawn of man comes Slug. A beast from 20 million years ago stalks the streets of today. A love stranger than King Kong. A monster more powerful than Godzilla. See the police and National Guard powerless before the awesome creature. Sherlock. Sherlock.
Widescreen color, rated PG.
All right. Well, okay, I think we're ready.
All right, are we ready for this conference now?
Sorry, you fell down. There we go.
Beyond the valley of the planet of the blob.
When a funny thing happened on the way to the
I need to probably turn that down.
Golly gee, kids, be the first in your neighborhood to have your own Name the Blob picture contest. Son of Blob has already been taken. Oh yeah, the first prize is 1 week in Burbank. Second prize, 2 weeks in lovely downtown Burbank. Son of Blob rated GP.
Because everyone gets killed with their clothes on.
Dallas, Fort Worth, the Blob eats it.
There's nothing like a little dessert.
Son of Blob in widescreen color, rated GP.
An unsolicited testimonial.
What do you think of the new Blob picture?
You mean the one where they discovered Steve McQueen?
No, this is the new Blob movie, Son of Blob. The Blob is packed with a new appetite for Godfrey Cambridge, Shelley Berman, and Carol Lindley. Son of Blob, a super new picture.
I can't believe he ate the whole thing.
Widescreen color, rated GP.
All right. Let's see what's in these boxes. Okay, what is this? This is what are these? Oh, these are my old Daredevil comics. I've got Logan's Run. So, oh, okay. So this is P.
Quite a different story. Director George Lucas and 20th Century Fox present Star Wars.
Okay, so these comics here seem to be some of my original collection. These aren't more recent stuff. Here is Batman Family number 2.
Star Wars. Rated PG.
There's Batman Family number 4.
Don't be startled. It's only the Jawas kidnapping another droid. Don't be frightened. It's
Batman Family number 7.
space. Never before in the history of movies has
Oh, I have 2 copies of that.
technology been spent just for fun.
There's Batman Family number 8.
Star Wars. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested.
This is some this is some Batman comic where they're talking about landmines being dangerous. I guess leftover landmines from the war.
Relax. It's only a movie and it's all for fun. Director George Lucas.
These were religious comics. This is the same company that put out those Jack Chick tracks. But it was a group of adventurers called the Crusaders, and they would these were the issues of the Crusaders, and they were sold like in religious bookstores. But they it's a well done comic. It's done much better than any modern comics. Yeah. Jack Chick tracks are cool. I mean, these aren't tracks, but they're just cool comics. The Crusaders. So. Oh, here's Crypt of Shadows number 7. These were Marvel comics that came out in the early 70s that reprinted the 50s comics. So they basically got some of their more tame stories from the pre-code era and reprinted them. Since this is my childhood copy here, because the comics code was relaxed around 1971, and all of a sudden you could have vampires and ghouls in comics again. So yeah, you can tell it's very 1950s looking, and they're trying to even imitate the EC Comics lettering. This one has art by Sheldon Moldoff.
Paranoia, rated X, because there was no other way to build this exercise in naked terror.
Yeah, werewolves were prohibited by the comics code until 1971, and so, you know, of course, Marvel started Werewolf by Night not long after the code relaxed. And there was a story called Werewolf by Night in one of those early 50s horror comics, so I guess that was technically the first appearance of Werewolf by Night. Here's Crypt of Shadows 9. They had several horror reprint titles. They had The Vault of Evil, and they had some that reprinted their giant monster Godzilla kind of comics, you know, where monsters dwell. And then they had some that were new horror stories, like supernatural thrillers. So Marvel was cranking out a lot of horror then, because all of a sudden horror was popular. I mean, the spinner rack, the comic book spinner rack in the early 70s was not predominantly superheroes the way it is if you go into a comic store now. You had horror, a lot of horror in the early 70s, and you had Barbarians, Sword and Sorcery, and there were still romance comics on the stands, and Western comics. And then you had all the there wasn't just Marvel and DC, because you had Gold Key, you had Charlton, although not all stores carried Charlton. And then you had Harvey Comics, you know, Casper, Richie Rich. And, yeah, so superheroes were not the predominant thing on the rack then. Here's Crypt of Shadows 14. I can tell I bought this more recently because that little dot, sticker dot, means I bought it at Duncanville Books. And here's another copy I have of it that I don't know when I got. But I know I didn't get this one when I was a kid, this particular issue. I know the ones that I've had since I was a kid. This one is also not a childhood copy, which is number 17. But I need to get a complete set of these, you know. See, like this one I've got duplicates of. This one's more of a reading copy. But, you know, I'd be willing to trade with you guys if you've got spare copies of an issue that you see I don't have. And I don't know, because there's other boxes. I've got to get everything together before I really know how much of the Crypt of Shadows I have, because I might have Crypt of Shadows in some other box. And then once I combine them all, then I'll really get a true picture of what I truly own. And that's why I've got everything spread out in that room upstairs like a lunatic. It's not gonna stay that way. Anyway, so here's I've got my Silver Age Daredevils in other area, but this must be my earliest Bronze Age issue of Daredevil. And then by issue 92, Daredevil's girlfriend, the Black Widow, was had shacked up with him and shared double billing with him. Black Widow really got around. She dated a lot of the Marvel superheroes. Yeah, they fucked up everything in the Marvel movies, haven't they? They've emasculated all the original male heroes, or killed them, or even the female heroes like Black Widow. She's even gone. And if it's because the actors or actresses are going to, you know, their contract is up and they want to go do some other art films or Shakespeare, fine, get a different actor to play him. Chris Evans was truly great as Captain America, but there's other people that could play Captain America. Don't get rid of Captain America. He's too important. Especially nowadays, we need movies with Captain America as a true American symbol, because, you know, when things were horrible in 1978 and that Christopher Reeve's Superman movie came out and it was unapologetically Superman. It didn't make fun of him. He was presented as this, you know, it's what are you doing, Drew? It was, you know, the whole thing about the American way has been taken out because by all these damn devil worshippers in Hollywood. This is, I think, the very first issue of Daredevil I ever bought, right here. Daredevil 116. Oh, these aren't even in order, are they? Because here's 102. Why are they out of order? Then another copy. I need to get these upstairs, but you've seen all these damn Daredevils. Elektra Daredevils. I need to pretend that I've done a comic book haul, because I don't buy comics now because there's nowhere that sells comics around me. But if I could just throw some comics together in a box and say, hey, I just got these at the flea market. Look, I got them all for $1 each. I could probably get 1 million views. I need to stage a fake haul. I mean, I think Doesn't everybody do that? I won't do that. That is not honest. Here's Monsters on the Prowl. This is another one of those Marvel reprints. But this isn't reprinting the... I hate this fucking YouTube. Hold on. What it does is if you play YouTube for a while, then they want to make sure you're still there watching their commercials, and so they stop playing whatever you're watching. And look, it says video paused, continue watching, and then you click yes, meaning you're still there, because they don't want people paying for commercials on YouTube and not actually and it's just playing at home while someone's at work and the cat's watching it. But it's damned annoying. I want to get back upstairs to see where the other Castle of Frankensteins are, but I'm trapped here while the phone recharges. Here's the first issue of Ms. Marvel, drawn by John Romita. Now, if the character looked like that in the movie and was called that instead of Captain Marvel, was called Ms. Marvel and had this suit, well, not if it wasn't that particular actress, maybe that movie would have been liked by people. Anyway, I don't think this shot up in value, but maybe people don't care about it anymore since the movie was universally despised. And they later remade her costume that made her look like that. Here she's in the land of the lizard people, look, which is Washington, D.C., right? Here's Neil Adams trying to create a character. Well, I mean, he could create characters. I mean, I know Ra's al Ghul and everything, but and Havoc and stuff. But I saw Neil Adams talking the other day, and he was saying that when the Christian Bale Batman movies were made, and they put Ra's al Ghul in there, that Disney, like, without just unsolicited, gave him like $100,000 or $200,000 for having created that character. He said when I guess 20th Century Fox was doing the X-Men movies and they put Havoc in X-Men First Class, they didn't give him a penny. So he says, I prefer DC for that reason. But anyway, this first issue of the New Mutants isn't that exciting. I still haven't seen that movie. It's got that girl in it from that chess show, that really cool chess show about the chess champion. Can't remember the name of it. Checkmate, I don't know. It was really good though. Oh man. I remember buying this on the spinner rack at the Mr. M in San Antonio, Rima the Jungle Girl. I always thought that was a mistake, that you can see her leg through the tiger. See there, but I think it's supposed to be that she's just kind of appearing like a ghost. But I always thought, shit, man, couldn't they have used an eraser to erase the leg? It just looks, I don't know. It's a beautiful drawing. It just, as a kid, that bothered me. And I didn't have a way to talk to Joe Kubert to ask him if he meant to do that or not. Oh, okay, here's I need to move the Harveys out of here. Here's Richie Rich Millions. Yeah. I've got a lot of issues of Rima. I didn't buy that many. Oh, here's some more Submariners. There's Spooky and Spooktown. Oh, someone was showing these the other day. Was it Crypt Keeper, Howler Mouse. I don't remember. Someone was showing these Stalker comics, which are Wally Wood's attempt to get into that Conan sword and sorcery kind of area, but it just didn't sell. Stalker. Here's Starstream, which is from Whitman, actually, you know, Gold Key, but this is, they're trying to do serious science fiction here, sort of. They've got an adaptation of an Isaac Asimov story and a Paul Anderson story. And it's done in with kind of a cardboard cover. Yeah, they're trying to make it a little classier than a comic book, but in reality, they're trying to sell it to older science fiction people that normally buy the Gold Key comics. They're trying to class up their act, in other words. And I remember them doing this. So this was done about, what the hell does it say? 1976. 1976, man. Sorry, I'm starting to get a little emotional here. Just thinking about 1976 and my parents being alive. See, the thing about comics is, you know, I can just show you, hey, look at this. Oops, look at this. I got this. It's slabbed, you know, this, you know, whatever. But I like to watch people on YouTube show, okay, this comic I got when I was in 6th grade, and I remember where I was, and we were coming back from on vacation, and I remember reading in the back of that '69 Ford station wagon, light blue, and I remember what my brother and sisters were doing, and it's like this is a comic book, but I like to hear the stories behind them. And you know, you buy something from mycomicshop.com, it's like you don't have any story. It's like, I bought this from mycomicshop.com, it was $5, it was $2, and it's like, okay, and then you say, wow, that's cool, it's really great shape, or it presents well, but you don't have any of. It's wonderful and it's great, and looking through it, it reminds you of a time that or it evokes a time before you were even born, and you can see what it was like to be a kid in that year. You're looking at a comic that came out in the summer of 1967, and I might have been 2 years old then, and I'm not even aware of anything except, you know, drooling. But I look at that comic and I know what it was like to be 10 years older and be 12 and looking at that and wanting to become a member of the Mighty Marvel Marching Society, or wanting to find, why doesn't my local TV station play these damn Marvel cartoons and stuff that they're advertising here? It's like everything in that comic is important, and the advertisements are just as important as the story, which is why the omnibuses, omnibuy, that people pay $100, $150 for this giant book that's bigger than the family Bible, that's so awkward, and then if you fall asleep and you drop and it falls off your lap onto the floor, it's damaged because it's a gigantic thing. Well, what I like about them is they print the letters pages, but they should print all the ads, because that's part of the experience. The house ads for the other comics that are out, the ads for getting a poster of a giant moon monster, whatever it is. Drew's knocking the phone down. Oh, I tricked Drew. Look, Drew is on the Mike Lindell bed. My wife bought this bed by Mike Lindell, and she has never sat on the bed. And now, because she wants to be near me, she's come over here and actually sat down on the Mike Lindell bed. So let's see if she now loves it, because I want her to love it, because Mike Lindell is a wonderful person. He used to be a drug addict, and he recovered and became this wonderful person that he has this factory that makes pillows and bedding and pet beds, and obviously, and he's just a great person, and he's completely there punching and helping Trump, after the, what happened in the election that you're not allowed to talk about on YouTube, because it was a completely honest election. It was completely above board. But I haven't seen 2,000 Mules. My wife ordered a DVD of 2,000 Mules, right? And then we waited a week, 2 weeks passed, and it's like, where's this DVD? And then she said, something went kind of weird when I was trying to order it on my phone. And then we looked back through the bank records, and I don't think we were ever charged for it. And I think what happened when it went live to where you could order the movie, there were evil operatives in there trying to keep people from seeing the movie, and it may have caused her transaction to not go through. So I think we could rent it online and watch it, but I want a physical copy because I'm all about physical media. And I definitely want a copy of 2,000 Mules. I want to see that movie. It's driving me mad. Okay, what's in this box? Some Submariners. This is some X-Force from this era, the all-red era, which I think I'm one of the only people that likes that, but I loved it. Handbook of the Marvel Universe. These are, if you look at mycomicshop.com, they're starting to go up in value. Some of them. Why, it's Smurfs #1. That's important. Oh, some Silver Age. Oh, some more World's Finest. A lot of World's Finest. What? Yeah, a lot of 60s era World's Finest comics. There were a bunch that I showed you last time, too. And this is the early 70s. I consider these to still be Silver Age until they go from 25-cent giants down to 20 cents. That just makes it easy on me. I know it's not accurate, but once DC Comics go to 20 cents, I consider them Bronze Age. So to me, I would file this with Silver Age because it's still 25 cents. And with Marvel, I just use syrup. Hold on, syrup. Okay, with Marvel, what I do is when it stops being this corner box and goes to the strip across the cigar band across the top, I consider that to be the beginning of the Bronze Age, when the Marvel Comics group goes across the top. I know it's not technically accurate because everyone mostly agrees Conan the Barbarian #1 was the beginning of the Bronze Age, but here's X-Men #8 where they fight Anus. Graphic Man will never do, I don't think he would ever do this. I don't want to encourage him to do something bad. It'd be a bad influence. But Graphic Man does great cover alterations. And I'm sure someone's already done this because there's enough juvenile minds out there. I'm sure someone's done a mock-up of this where they changed it to Anus. It had like a butt in the center farting or something, blowing them all around. I'm sure, you know, someone like bent over backwards, you know, blowing a fart out at them. Yeah. The death of Professor X, we didn't realize it was going to be the Scarlet Witch breaking his neck. I got tons of X-Men in this box. Shit, man. So this must be where my Silver Age X-Men comics are. A lot of them are in this box. Oh, this is the first Silver Age comic I ever owned. No, that's not true, because I bought comics in the Silver Age because I remember being 4 years old in 1969 and buying Choo Choo Charlie, and I bought Casper comics and stuff. But being after I discovered Marvel superheroes, I think I was in third, maybe fourth grade. I traded a friend for this issue, so this is my first. I consider this to be my first Silver Age comic I ever owned, which is X-Men 62. All right, so entertainment galore. Ah! She's still sleeping on the Mike Lindell bed, man. This is a bunch of Marvel 2-in-1s. Note to Disney Plus, if you're gonna do Egyptian shit in your Moon Knight TV show and have people inside pyramids, that looks so lame. Make it look like this, you know. Have them floating around, you know. But they don't know what they're doing. But I'm sure that, what is that new show going to be called? The hell is it called? With the new little girl playing a superhero. She's oh, I guess, is she Ms. Marvel? What is she? Something Mary Marvel? The new little, she's this little girl that I don't know, some new show that's coming out. I don't know what they're doing there. What if Conan the Barbarian was stranded in the 20th century? What if Captain America were revived today? Oh, this is cool. What if Iron Man had been a traitor? Why is it cool? I'll open it and show you why it's cool. Because you can already tell why it's cool. Maybe you can't. Oh, actually, well, Steve Ditko did the breakdowns, which means he kind of did rough pencils for it. But basically, you look at it and you can tell it's Steve Ditko artwork from, I don't have my glasses on, early 80s, right? Early 80s, mid 80s, whatever. But seeing Steve Ditko do the Fantastic Four, seeing all the, you know, Steve Ditko's came back to Marvel and drew these characters. I mean, and it's like a 60s comic that never existed that suddenly's been rediscovered. But you know what he never would do is, you know, notice he's not going to draw Spider-Man or Doctor Strange in any of these panels, because I think he swore he'd never do that. And there's some issues of Rom Space Knight that Steve Ditko did the art for, and there's one that has a 2-page spread of all the Marvel superheroes rushing at you. That's great. But yeah, Spider-Man and Doctor Strange are not present. This was Marvel's attempt to bring back Not Brand Ech, and of course it wasn't as great as Not Brand Ech was in the 60s. Okay, I bought this for my wife, Strawberry Shortcake. But it's in this box here, so where she would never know how to find it. So that was more Micronauts comics that need to be filed upstairs. This is a cool Flash comic. There's a great George Perez cover. I'm sorry, George Perez. I've got to pronounce it correctly. When he passed away, a lot of his fellow creators, like Walt Simonson, when they wrote about it, like on Facebook, they would say accent on the first syllable. They're trying to teach people, okay, the guy's passed away, let's pronounce his name right, for gosh sakes. And so I remember being at the subway that we passed earlier, and my wife speaks Spanish, so I was trying to say, okay, how do I pronounce George, because he had just passed away, and I wanted to mention George Perez on my show, and I said, well, how do you pronounce it? Help me pronounce this, because I just want to say Perez, which I think is how most people pronounce it. Man, I got tons of these Kazar comics. Like in every box I open, there's more Kazar comics. Here's Superman as written by Edgar Rice Burroughs. And more Gru comics. Oh, I love Gru. I hate seeing a dog cry on the front. This fucking thing makes me emotional. This dog crying. What is wrong with me? I'm going mad. I think this issue has got some value. I think so. Avengers Annual 7. With special guest stars Warlock and Captain Marvel battle Thanos, Lord of Evil. Yes, very valuable. A key issue. Oh, I forgot to put key issue in my title. Last episode, I tried to put slabbed comics, speculation, make money. I was trying to get some people to watch the channel that don't normally watch, but I don't know if it worked. Oh, a floating head cover, like the Justice League used to do around 1970, 71. Oh, wonderful. What else we got here? Oh, these fucking comics. I hated Captain Planet. I'm dedicated to creating the biggest carbon footprint I possibly can create. But this is a homage to Fantastic Four #1. But where does it say it on there? Oh, look at that. Printed on you see up there? Printed on recycled paper. That's what we comic collectors want, is comics printed on recycled paper. I think Archie was doing that for a while too. That is not what we want, guys. I just like this cover, Dazzler, this painted cover. Pretty cool. Machine Man had some Ditko art too. Yeah. More Conan. Marvel team up with the Black Panther. She-Hulk. More Gru. Oh, look at this. These I'll tell you something you already know. In the 70s, you'd buy comics on magazine racks and spinner racks primarily that spun around, but sometimes you'd be in a place. I remember seeing them in the PX, the Army base PX, when my dad was in the Army. But they'd also be in toy stores, places that don't normally sell comics. The PX had regular comics. They also had these little, they were bags. You know, they had a little header card, and it said 3 comics for 70 for 70 cents or something. It was like less than $1. You'd get 3 comics, and they were sealed in a bag, and it would look like this. You'd see a comic here, and you turn it around, you'd see another comic facing you, and there'd be a third comic inside there, and you'd have to kind of, you know, just barely peek in there to see what it was. A lot of times they were gold key comics, and but the gold key emblem had been changed to Whitman, and the Overstreet Price Guide said these comics are almost worthless. They're reprints. They're reprinted with the Whitman name on them. They're basically worthless. And that's how I, you know, last time I paid attention, I thought, oh, these. But in reality, it turned out later they weren't reprints. There was one print run. It went through, and they printed the comics, and then at a certain point, they laid over the DC emblem, in this case it's a DC one, the Whitman emblem, and they also covered up, here in this case, the price on it. So if someone ripped open one of those 3-packs, they wouldn't really be able to buy this because the person at the counter would say, what does this cost? There's no price on it. And they'd realize that you had ripped it open. But these are 2 issues of Justice League. You can't even really tell unless you open them up what issue they are, because they have the Whitman logo replacing. So anyway, now they're considered to be more valuable to some people that care than the regular ones, whereas in the past people thought they were worthless. How about that? Okay. Look at Drew enjoying her Mike Lindell bed. I'm so glad she's finally using the bed. My wife's going to be thrilled. Let's see, we're at 1 hour, 37 minutes, and 8 seconds. So I'll tell her to watch and see Drew enjoying and luxuriating in the bed. Should be an ad for Mike Lindell. When you order things from Mike Lindell's company, mypillow.com, he sends you a book. I think it's like an autobiography. And it's cool because it's got like a, what do you call it, a lenticular cover, where you see him transform from drug addict to normal, great person. Let's see if I can find it. I just saw it a minute ago. There it is. That's funny. I've got it right next to Valley of the Dolls. I didn't do that on purpose. And then here's that Robert E. Howard. But I shouldn't put it next to Valley of the Dolls because that's about drug addiction. But yeah. Hold on. It's, what are the odds? From crack addict to CEO. Let me get some light. See, he changes from Democrat to Republican, right? And there he is in the back as a small child and as a older guy. Yeah, you'll get a free copy of this every time you order. We got a couple of them now, starting to be like little Bibles that you can just give out to people. Anyway, he's definitely someone to support. Mike Lindell. Okay, I might have enough charge where I can just go back upstairs and I found this Stallone Rambo First Blood Part 2 display. It's been damaged in the move. The helicopter was damaged, but then it got fucked up here. Will that come off? That might come. I don't think that's going to come off. The dangers of moving. Okay. Well, let's head on up and see if we can find some more monster magazines. Because On Memorial Day, what I think about is monsters and monster magazines. I still have stuff on that elevator I have to take off. And I don't know at what point this show will just abruptly end because I have very limited memory on this phone. And, oh, that's where the power cord was. In my water I was drinking. Okay. This is a box labeled Creepy and Eerie. Let's see if that's actually what it is. Okay. I'm going to have a contest here. So, Mitarog, you can note that. I need some ideas on stuff to put on the walls, so you can help me. So I've got some space on the walls that has to be filled. I think I'm going to put some jungle type posters over here. I got this whole wall needs to be filled. So if you can send me submissions like what I should put on the walls, then I'll probably send you absolutely nothing. Except I'll say thank you. That's the contest. But no, actually, I kind of wanted to make this into a museum, that people could actually tour someday. And maybe I could name a room after you. Okay, what do we got here? Wato! Oh, these really are Eries. Here's Erie number 33 from 1971. What else we got? Oh, I always like this cover. This is a Richard Corbin cover, and he's one of my favorite artists, number 32. Look at that. Look at that big ad for Conan paperbacks on the back. That's from March of 71. That's when the second wave of the monsters was starting in 71. I mean, it all started in the late 50s, right, with the shock theater package, Universal horror movies being syndicated to all over the United States. In 57, and then Famous Monsters started, and all the monster boom and Aurora monster models in the early 60s, right? And the Monster Mash was a big hit on TV. But in 71, another monster fad started. And the Monster Mash even became, a number one hit again around 73, 74. It came back like 12 years later. It was a hit again and played on the radio constantly. Eerie, best stories ever. I got tons of these Eries. But right now I'm looking for the Famous Monsters. Or I'm sorry, the other issues of Castle of Frankenstein. They're eluding me. Oh, this is cool. It's a Comics Journal interview with Carl Barks. This needs to be in another box. Oh, here's some more Famous Monsters. Here's Gil Kane. You all love Gil Kane. King of the Nostrils. This is Comics Journal 78. Comics Journal is a great magazine. And those two I think I got for $2 each at Duncanville Books. Yeah, here's a bunch of Famous Monsters that aren't in the boxes in the closet. And this, I think this is a Charlton magazine, Quasimodo's Monster Madness. Let's look at this, since it's open. Yeah, I can already feel the cheap Charlton paper. They're introducing Esmeralda. I think this might be Tony Tallarico art. Although it's better than most Tony Tallarico drawings. Tony Tallarico is the guy that's like my enemy, you know. You might hate Rob Liefeld, or you might hate the nostrils of Gil Kane or something, but to me, Tony Tallarico really always annoys me. See, they've got ads like the Warren books had, but they're just not as cool looking ads. It just doesn't have the production design. Tony Tallarico is to comic book art what Dan Fogelberg is to good music, you know. Look, you can learn nunchaku. Let's see. I think they're trying to create like a Vampirella type character to sell this magazine. Oh, look at this. Life and Death and Death Race 2000. That's something Forey Ackerman started. We're putting these giant letters to fill a whole page. So this is about the time Death Race 2000 came out. There was one issue of this. See, when you get magazines that aren't done by Forrest J. Ackerman, like this is one of the most common stills ever, and they use it to fill 2 pages. But Forrest J. Ackerman had been collecting these movie stills since these movies were in theaters. See, like these are the most common Star Trek shots. They're yeah, it's definitely Charlton. Just whatever that means. Maybe someone that once worked for Charlton could explain what, you know, these numbers mean on Charlton books. But I'm not knocking it. This is a cool monster magazine. It's still part of the legacy of all of that. Okay. Well. Oh yeah, this I traded my friend Sammy Glass in 3rd grade for this issue, Famous Monsters, although this is not the issue I traded him for. I still have that issue, but he was a fellow comic collector, and I'd go over to his house and we'd draw comics. He was really a very talented artist, and he was really into Star Trek, but he had some things like this, and the Famous Monsters with the Westworld cover, and he had some Gold Key Star Trek that I wanted, and we traded, or I don't know exactly how we traded, or if I paid him money for them, but, oh, and I think I got the Monster Times worst issue ever from him as well. Monster Times and Castle of Frankenstein are really 2 of the finest of this genre as far as writing goes, and coverage of, let's see, Castle of Frankenstein and the Monster Times didn't just cover movie monsters, they also covered comic books and any other genre that monsters would appear. Like Monster Times would talk about monster cereals like Count Chocula and Frankenberry. Anyway, see, this is the Hideous Sun Demon, which, if you watch the movie, it's not that scary at all, and probably wasn't that scary even back in the 50s when it was released. But see, Basil Gogos paints it where the guy's got blood all over his head. And then you read this as a kid, and you imagine what this movie must be like. And it's like there are pictures from Horror of Party Beach that were printed in the Monster Times where a girl's laying on the beach, and her bikini is a little ripped, and there's blood on her, and it looks horrifying because it's printed on newsprint. It looks like it's a crime scene photo. And you think this must be one of the most bloody, horrifying movies, and it's really a silly movie. A wonderful movie, but okay, so I'm going to try to get these Famous Monsters filed into the boxes. So I don't know. I've got to figure out where the other Castle of Frankensteins are here somewhere. I need to just stop panicking. They're going to wind up showing up, I guess. It's just very... When I used to kind of know where everything was, and now I don't know where everything is, and it's very frustrating. when you're mentally insane, you want some degree of control. Okay. All right. So I'm in this closet here, and set these down. And oh, here's some Castle of Frankenstein's just laying here. This is one of the most famous covers, and they reused this painting on a issue of Shudder or something like that. But this is a great. This is Castle of Frankenstein number. I can't read that. Whatever that says. Okay, so that's where some of these things are. And here's some Mads. Okay. So famous monsters. I set you down. Okay. It's hot in here, man. I'm realizing how unair conditioned this closet is. I probably need to leave the door to it open. I'm starting to think about the house and where are the vents? You know, there is no vent into this room, so I really do need to leave all the doors open to every room in this level, because the air conditioning comes in right in the middle and disseminates to all these rooms. And I'm starting to figure out how this all works. Okay, so these are my famous monsters. So this is 129, this is 130, and this is 106. Let me pull a few more out of this box. A special holiday issue. It's a very Christmassy looking cover. I appreciate that kind of humor. This one, I remember when this was on the newsstand. That's one my mom didn't let me buy. And of course, that makes frogs look a lot scarier than it really was. Okay. So, that's 91. Oh, this is the cover for 100. Okay, so this is the one I traded to Sammy Glass, who later became a science teacher. I think he's now, in a like a real important person. Okay, 107. Okay, this one is 40. This is issue 46. So, my earliest famous monsters is this issue from September of '62. Man, Crypt Keeper of Castle Hills has issue 1. I was saying, okay, what is this issue number? They didn't put the issues number. There's 34. Another issue of 34, 35. 36, there are 2 issues of 36, 37, 39, 40, and this is 46, 41, 42, 43. Okay, then I go to 49, so 46 needs to go in here. Then this one is another Christmas cover. This one's 48. Oh, the reason it's real hot in here It's because this light bulb's right next to my head. I was thinking, boy, it's really sweltering in this closet. What am I thinking, man? 48. Maybe I need to put a LED bulb or something that's less hot. 648. Okay, what number is this one? This one's 67. 54, 60, 62, 64. There's 68, and there's 66. There's 67. Remember the movie Titanic? The little old lady. That's her there when she was younger, or a painting of her. Okay, so then this one is 81. This is how I find out if I've got more than one copy of something. There's 91, 87, 68, 69, 83. Oh, my friend Tom, who passed away, used to own this painting for that. The actual painting is the other. It's like a mirror reflection of that. They turned it around when they printed it, but he sold it before he passed away. Okay, so that's 85, and that's 83, and that's 69. Okay, it looks like I'm missing about 10 issues, but in reality, what Boris J. Ackerman did is he counted Monster World that was done in the 60s. He retroactively said that was part of Famous Monsters numbering, and that helped him get to issue 100 quicker because he wanted to have the big 100-year celebration for that 100th issue. Here's number 94. So I should probably put the Monster Worlds in here where they belong in the numbering scheme, I suppose. Even though they don't really belong there in chronologically. You're dealing with stuff from 1972, and those Monster Worlds are from, the mid 60s more. Here's 97, Famous Monsters 97. There's probably about 3 people out there that actually care about what I'm doing, but it's important to me. Let's see, this is issue 98. That goes in there. And then this one is 99, House of Frankenstein. That's 99. Here's one of those issues of Monster World. I'm just leaving that separate. Here's the 1965 yearbook. I think it says $25, but I bought it for half that price. That's how that works at Duncanville Books, as I recall. Okay. Let's see. Oh boy, where would I would put these yearbooks at the very end. So what I need to do is put the lid on that Famous Monsters box. Excuse me, folks. And in this box, I need to move one of the shit in the back. Oh, you don't want to see those. I get these books out of here. Okay. This is what I was talking about, how Famous Monsters, they did, that's the cover I was trying to describe. It's Darth Vader and C-3PO having their footprints put in. And then the next issue, they have a classic monster on the cover, but then it says Star Wars at the top. And then by the next issue, it's Close Encounters, and then it's just from then on, it was nothing but, well, that's from what is that from? Zardoz or something? Okay. All right. One minute. We'll get back to the entertainment. Where did I put that damn? Oh, there it is. Right here. Yeah, see, here they have Star Trek on the cover, but they didn't do it in the 60s when Star Trek was struggling. Oh well. I shouldn't chastise Uncle Forey. I'm sure he had his reasons. Maybe he had pressure from James Warren, the publisher, to not put Star Trek on the cover, because he tried to do a separate science fiction magazine called Spacemen, as kind of a sort of companion piece to Famous Monsters, but he never sold. Sorry, my mind's going on me. Okay. Let's get more stuff off. No, man. This is ADHD, I suppose. This is, they talk about it, but I guess I'm demonstrating it. Because I'm thinking, I need to get a Coke. No, wait. Maybe I should get lunch. Or wait. Maybe there's Famous Monsters. Maybe I should. Wait, what about the Castle of Frankenstein? Wait, I need to be doing the Hulk comics in there. All right. Oh. Oh, shit. Oh, this cover. I remember this cover because we were moving at the time. I think February. Does that say? I think we were moving. Yeah, we were moving from. I don't remember. I just remember seeing this and wanting this book, and I wasn't allowed to get it. And March of '73. Oh, okay. Yeah, we were living in Virginia at the time. I remember this cover too. We'd go in this bookstore in Hampton, Virginia, and it's like, this is Dracula, and it's at the same time, Marvel was starting their own line of black and white magazines to imitate this, and they had Vampire Tales and Dracula Lives, and this is very similar to that day. Oh, and I remember this cover with these victims through the stakes, you know, oh man. My mother wouldn't let me buy these magazines. One day I was in there with my dad, and I showed him, and I knew I'm supposed to, the drill, I'm supposed to show them book. Can I buy this? And my dad said, sure. He didn't even look in it. And it was this issue of Eerie. And, you know, it's got like, you know, if you just look at the back cover, it looks a little inappropriate. And I remember this werewolf story. The guy says, you goddamn son of a bitch, or something like that. And I'm thinking, oh boy, this is like really dirty stuff. I can't believe they're cursing. There was blood and stuff. And of course, my mother would never approve. Look, here's a character with one eye missing. That's one of the big things that was verboten by my mother. Anyway, let me buy it. This is not my childhood copy. I gave that away to some girlfriend, but this is in better shape than my childhood copy. So, yeah, I've made stupid mistakes. So. I remember this one being on the newsstand as well. This cool cover and this, look at the back cover for the Vampirella model kit and everything, which did not look like that. I should show you what the model kit looks like. In fact, I should do that right now before I forget. Where was the? The model kit does not look like that. That's damn annoying. Where are the other cassettes? I remember they wound up in another box. There's so many magazine boxes I've got. This one is, Oh, and I forgot there was this line of comics coming out too, which I think Guandanaland reprints these. It's this is from Skywald Horror Mood, they called it. But these were very much like Warren with these European style artists, you know. There was Nightmare, and there was Scream, and there was Psycho. And the one Psycho cover that I remember is the most memorable one. Is it here? Where is it? Oh, here's a great cover. This isn't the one I was talking about. Psycho number something. It's from November 71. And this character, Hell Rider, was kind of a prototype of Ghost Rider. There was a great, oh, I know, I pulled out some of the really good, I know what I did. I had a magazine rack at the old house, and I wanted it to be filled with monster magazines, and I pulled out some of the more spectacular issues that were bagged and boarded, and I put them in that rack. And then I took them out of that rack, and they weren't put back in their spots, which is why I'm missing all those Castle of Frankenstein. And look, this is the Psycho, and in this other box over here that I'm talking about, this cover, I always thought this would make a great poster. Yeah. Okay. So let me just move this Psycho over into this box. Yeah. Oh, here's the other Castle of Frankensteins. Oh, hooray. This episode does not end on a bad note. Here's the Castle of Frankenstein where they're starting to sell it to hippies. It's like, blow your mind. Turn off your mind and float downstream with this issue of Castle of Frankenstein. Oh, look, I got 2 copies of it. This is the one where they made it look like sort of like, you know, the kids' moms bought their magazines about Elizabeth Taylor, and it says here, does Liz know about the night that Burton turned into a monster? See where it says that? And it's just done like a... This one was once sold at the West Side Magazine Exchange at 220 South Perry in Penny City, Oklahoma. See, it's got a stamp there. There's Van Williams, passed away a few years ago. He was from Fort Worth. He went to Arlington Heights High School in Fort Worth, same high school that John Denver went to. And here's the Planet of the Apes. It has Doc Savage coverage in this issue. All right, so we found those. I don't think that's... Oh, well, here's more. Here's another copy of this issue. There's still a few missing. They're somewhere here. Maybe they're further on in this box. Here's a bunch of Mads, Eerie, Monster. Oh, okay. Here's an issue of Vampirella. Okay. This is pretty cool that these have been located. And of course, currently in the real world, there's a company trying to make new magazines look like these old magazines. This Vampirus Carmilla is made to look like those old magazines that I was just showing you. This is coming out now, and it's a pretty damn good simulation of what Warren magazines look like. They call their company Warrant. I mean, these are people that truly love those, I think this is the last published Richard Corbin art. I think this was published after he died, and it must have been an unpublished piece. I'm sure there's tons of Richard Corbin art that was never printed that it'll trickle out over the years, but I don't know. Let's get some more stuff out of that. Yeah, there is no air conditioning vent in this room. I'm starting to realize this as the summer's hitting. There's a ceiling fan here. The air conditioning on this level comes through this vent and out here. So it comes out. It comes out here. And it has to circulate through this hole upstairs, so therefore closing doors is probably not a smart thing to do on this level. You know, the magic of living in a house that's over 100 years old. Okay. What else do I have on this elevator? Okay, here's a comic box. It says Bronze Age. Let's lift it up. Again, this episode could end at any time because the last episode shut off because it ran out of time, and it didn't even go 2 hours, 10 minutes. So. Okay, let's see what's in this box. Okay, Unknown Soldier, Vampirella, Warlock. Okay, so this is you. There's Weird War, Werewolf by Night, goes to Where Monsters Dwell, Witching Hour. Okay, so this is U through V. So I need to put this box over there by the Wonder Woman box. Okay. All right. That's good. Well, maybe there's something I can show you out of here. Here's more of the Marvel 50s reprints from the early 70s. Uncanny Tales from the Grave. This is one I bought as a little kid. I was at that point when this issue came out into horror, and I didn't discover the Marvel superheroes as being that wonderful until a few months later. What caused me to discover that was getting the Marvel Treasury Edition #2, the big giant book that, and reading the Galactus trilogy and discovering Jack Kirby, Stan Lee, Fantastic Four from the 60s, and then I realized I was hooked on these Marvel superheroes. It's hard to take this seriously anymore after watching the Peacemaker show because this character was depicted as such a goofball, and so if you look at this, and it's no longer that serious. You just want to laugh. Okay. Man, I want to go down and see how my dog's doing. Maybe I'll move another box off the elevator. Oh, I never got that poop up.